the function has duplicates starts with this line, which creates the function and takes in a parameter, which would be a list. The program goes on to initialize I as 0, so then while I is less than the length of the list, then it goes through this if-else statement, and it basically goes if the number of occurrences of the same item in the list is greater than 1, then the program or the function would return true. Else, if the loop reaches the last item in the list without returning true, then it's going to return false. And then after it goes through those if-else statements, then 1 is added to I every time the program loops. And then afterwards, the function remove duplicates starts with this line, and it creates the function and takes in a parameter, which is also a list. The function starts by initializing a new list, which would be an empty list for now, and goes through a for loop, which checks for every item in the list, so for I in list. Then each time it asks if I is not in the new list, then it's going to add that element to the new list. So that, let's say the list has 1, 2, 2, and 3, then it's going to see that 2 is already in the new list, so then it's not going to add 2 to the new list again. So then this line just appends or adds that element to the new list. And afterwards, it's just going to return the new list, which is going to consist of the unique elements. So then afterwards, for the read file functions, the first method, both of these functions is going to require the file words.txt. So then these two lines are for that. So then this first one opens the file, and then the second one reads the file and then splits each element and sets to the variable words. So for the first method, it's going to create the function and then takes in the parameter words. And then this creates an empty list called word split. And then it goes through a for loop, so for I in words, so for every element in words, it's going to add it to the empty list called word split. And then it's just going to return that new list. And then the second method is pretty similar, so then it starts with this line, which creates the function and then takes in the parameter words. Again, it's going to have the empty list called word split, and then it's going to check for every element in words. It's going to add the element to word split. And the only difference is that this first method uses append, this one uses this idiom. And then again for the second method, it's going to return word split, which would be the new list. And then this line just closes the file. So after checking the functions, I found that the second method would be faster. This is probably because concatenation is simpler than the append method. And then in the main function, which will be the output for everything, it's just formatting, so it's going to show the section for the birthday paradox, and it's going to show some example lists. So these lists are initialized in these lines, and then the next 3 lines is just going to call the functions with those lists. It's going to print or output the results. Same thing goes for the function remove duplicates, and then again for the read file functions. So after I output it, it's going to show everything. So it says for the birthday paradox, the example lists are as shown, and then it shows the results. Same for remove duplicates and the read file methods.